She said
Yeah.
one time I was at the one funeral and somebody come to me and start talking about other person that was also there in the room, and I just called that other person, hey, come here, this guy wants to say something to you.
Oops.
Imagine, imagine, oopsie. All right, on tonight's Night Ignition podcast, the topic is gossiping. So let's go straight into it. What gossip actually is. By the Cambridge Dictionary, gossip means conversation or reports about other people's private lives that might be unkind, disapproving, or not true. And gossip monger is someone who enjoys talking about other people and their private lives. All right.
Oh, you actually have a word for people who enjoy doing that?
It's a
Wow.
gossip monger. Now you know. Now we'll know how we call people. Gossips in English. Hello, gossip monger. They will think you just say something nice like "Hello, gentlemen," but yeah, something. I'm joking. All right. What do you two here in chat? Go wild as well. Like, what does gossiping or gossip means for you?
Yeah, for me, yeah, talking like something about someone. But I was thinking, because it says that like unpleasant stuff, like stuff that aren't
Mm-hmm.
like making any good view on the person. And I'm kind of questioning whether it's what about if you say something good, is that also gossip or not, just my brains are trying to wrap around that. But otherwise, yeah, just talking shit about someone, that's like clear gossip to me. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, we're
All
gonna
right.
go more into that later. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, for me, yeah, okay. Obviously, I think about saying something bad about someone else, but you know, from my experience, sometimes you're trying to be nice to someone, like saying something that would save a situation for the third person, and you're really trying to make something good, but at the end, you just fucked up things. You know what I mean? I'm sure it happened to you too.
Yeah, definitely. It goes for me as well. So it's like, gossiping for me is talking about another person, whether it's, I would say, good or bad. If they're not present in the conversation, if they're not like in there with you, I would call that gossiping. It doesn't really matter. It's, unkind, unpleasant, or not true. So basically lying. I don't know why it says lying, not telling the truth. Oh my god, what is that? Lying. But anyway, right? So it's like, for me, is that like, if you have something to say about somebody, don't say it to them, or I would say don't say it. And Mr. JP said, I agree with the definition. And I just said that usually when we're gossiping, we want to get certain reaction from this other person, like shock or something similar.
Mm, like the drama juice
Yeah, yeah,
out
yeah.
of it.
Yeah, we can straight look into it, like what's the nature of gossiping, right? And for me, nature of gossiping is like, all right, when I talk about others, I don't need to deal with my shit. It's just that. And then it's like, when I put others down, I feel better about myself in a certain way, which is like throwing sand into my face. But I would say it's in that direction, right? So if I have conversation with Emma and we are talking trash about Ula, to be like, all right, we now have some power over Ula, we'll be like, yeah, we're so much better than her. But in the fact, we already know that we are talking about Ula because we are insecure about ourselves. So we have to make her smaller so that, she comes to our level so that we
Yeah.
feel better about ourselves. All right, we are not that bad, she's even worse. Did you hear what she did? So yeah, that's, I would say, the nature of gossiping is.
True.
I agree. And I really like the well, in my way, or who I am with gossiping, is that, as I said, I really like this drama juice. because it's like, okay, one part is what you said, like putting people down, but in I enjoy like this kind of something is happening, like in why people watch the soap operas, right? So in that kind of way, my brain has some, I don't know, weird fun around it. Like something's happening, something's going on, even though in reality nothing is going on except some words. But it's like some scenarios that happened, some news, whatever, like in that way that I like the juice of it. I like the whole happening. How I get some kind of endorphins, or I don't know, in that. But yeah.
Yeah, I got it. It's just like imagination goes wild. Right.
Yeah, that exactly that.
Yeah, and because of that, normally when we gossiping, somebody says something, and in my head I make it, even worse or bigger or whatever. And yeah, that's the problem of gossiping, actually.
Yeah, and as Mrs. JP said, it's a distraction, just like a movie or series. Yeah, I experienced that. So
Right.
really cool. I mean, cool. Not really cool, but
yeah. And another thing is, we are definitely not gossiping, gossip mongers, right? Like, I hate gossipers. Really, I'm not moral, but about gossipers, I am. I hate them. I despise them, and I'm one of them. So. Right? No, but it is like that, right? We're like, when you really look into it, it's not like, if we all take it on right now, all right, we stop gossiping, and if we would be really sharp, like really rigorous about it, we would see that there is not much conversation would go out through the day if you would take out gossiping. It's just like, hey, did you know what Emma? All right, I cannot say that.
oh yeah.
All right, I got. No, I don't. It kind of a be like, right?
It's like a filler for everyday conversations. Just put in some gossip, and you have to talk. Something to talk for hours.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right. And then me and them are on a program where actually the agreement of the program is that we do not gossip, and it's just like, but it is.
Yeah.
I think it's also very uncomfortable. Like, all right, you might be in a conversation where other people gossip, right? And you don't say anything, but by participating or just being in that conversation, kind of if people would watch from a distance, they would see you in, and they would be like, all right, those are gossip mongers, whether you say anything or don't, because you also didn't stop it. You didn't say like, hey guys, you're gossiping, I'm out of here. I do not participate in these kind of conversations. No, we just kind of endure, so we don't look bad, so that we don't hurt the people who gossip, so we don't say, hey guys, stop it. That would make us look bad. So I see all that when it comes to gossiping. It's just like, and I really respect people who do. And I only know one person who does that in the whole world. Until now, of all the people that I know, I only know one person who is actually stopping every gossip conversation that is happening around her. And she was in our talk show. It's Herlene. So she was a guest. She is really, and she says people don't like me because I do that. Because she said one time I was at one funeral and somebody come to me and start talking about other person that was also there in the room, and I just called that other person, hey, come here, this guy wants to say something to you. Oops. Imagine, oopsie daisy, imagine.
Yeah.
But like, that's why, that's also like being a leader, like true leader, in making something else available for the people also, that is necessary to do.
Yeah, but I did something like that when I was little. Like that happened, and then oh my god. So what really happened, how was it, was that I was a friend with like two different groups of people, right? I was the one just flying from one to another, and and there was a time that some friend said to me, that I don't like that other girl, she's whatever, like being like that I don't know, Afna. I don't know how to say that.
Goofy.
Like not really goofy, but like being all, I'm better than others, you know, like in that way.
Okay.
Society.
What?
Being
High
high, like
society.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, all right. Well, and she said, you know, that girl acts like that, and I don't like her. And I was friends with both of them, so I was like, all right. And next time when I was talking with the other girl, that was also from my part, I guess, gossiper. I don't really know how to put that, but I said to that other girl, like, you know what? She said that to you, and they were kind of like pretending that they were friends at time. And well, she was like, oh my god, well, I'm gonna go and, you know, talk to her about that. And when she got to this first girl, the first girl said, oh no, Ima is lying. And suddenly you know, that was in my, I don't know, fourth grade or something. And now whole class was towards me like she's lying. And I stopped, you know, and then after that I never did that again. I never like put two people like, you know, you should talk about that, because I was the one then getting all the shit suddenly. So and yeah, I think it really takes a like strong, you really need to, I mean, need to be like, it takes a strong human being to stand there for, you know, for this communication, so that people don't give you gossip, but they just clear with each other, as you said before. Because yeah, you get a lot of, you know, a lot of reactions back, and it can really well, it hurt me in the time, and it can really, you know, affect how you are feeling if you're not like focus on, I must stand for this, for that this gets cleared out. So yeah, I had that experience, so I stopped, you know, doing that. So yeah.
You know, something very similar happened to me when I was around that age. It was actually one friend. She asked me, "Oh, what do you think about the other one?" And I was like, "I don't know. I mean, she's nice." And she was like, "No, she's not nice. She's, I don't know, a bitch, whatever." And I was like, "Oh, you know, I just wanted to be nice, but still, I wanted to have friends, you know, and have some like, oh, we are on the same page." And then what it came out was that I said that the third girl is a bitch, and it was really bad. I felt really bad, like you said. And I came home to my dad and I said, "Dad, you know what happened?" And I told him, and he was like, "Okay, listen to me. I'll give you an advice. Never, ever talk about third person with the second person, you know?" And just that. And from that time, and he said, "And this shit will never happen again." And I was 10 at that time, but I understood very well that I don't want to feel that way again. And if my dad said that, that might be true. And I learned hard way that gossiping, like you doing it or being part of it, it's really not a good idea.
Yeah, it's not. It's just like you two shared. It just gives you it's like a backfire always, right? And then you wonder why somebody else is talking about you, and why there are, you know, going these rumors around the town. But you know, with nothing happens, and with something happens. So probably what goes around comes around. Usually it's like that. So Paolo, I can admit, when I was younger, I was like, you know, I don't know, information's just I just got them. It was like, I saw a person for the first time in a group that I just met, and somebody just started talking about me, about other people, you know, and being in a couple of groups like that, you know, right? You know, whole bunch of gossips about others. So then you can go around when people tell you, hey, you did that, and you're like, yeah, I know, like, hey, did you know, right? So it was like I'm the board of gossiping, like now me looking back, and I did it. I admit it. I did it a lot because that's how I felt better, because in school I was, let's say, bullied. So gotta get power back in some way. So gossiping and making up things. Um, I wouldn't say that much about others, but I make up a lot of things about myself when I was younger. When, like, especially in front of girls, a whole bunch of things.
Really?
Yeah, I was a little lying cunt. I can admit that. Like, for me, lying was like, it's like second skin, I would say. It's just like I could. When I was younger, I was available to look you in the eyes and lie, just like that, stone cold. It's just like, and then what I could do is like convince myself about that's that's the truth, and live like it's the truth. So it's just like a mind game. So yeah, worked a lot on that, and it's also with goes along with gossiping. So it's just like making things about others. And then when I stopped it, it was really funny, because then what happened was just like that. I participate in conversation. You're like, you know, can we move on? Or I went home with the headaches. That's what happened when I was in a company that a lot of gossiping went around. I just went home with headaches. So that was like, also think why at the age of, how old was I? Think 26, 27, like for around that time, I just stopped being around people. I was more or less in my room. I was, even though I had like practice for becoming a caretaker nursing in a nursing home, I was like spending time with people being in the nursing home rather than with my coworkers, because with them was always gossiping, and then people didn't like me for that, because the people who were like the old ones lying there, they liked me more than they liked them, and they were there for longer time. So that kind of competition, I was like, I didn't care. So yeah, what I see, the impact of gossiping on me was always like, I felt good for the moment when it was going on, and then when I was already walking home, I'm like, why am I saying these things? Like, why am I doing that? Feel
Mm.
like crap, didn't like myself, self-esteem on level of I don't know, below zero. So all that happened with me, and still happens whenever I gossip. Even now, I catch myself. We game, right? We play Call of Duty. We game, and then we start talking about, hey, did you hear that guy? He was banned for hacking, and that's already gossiping, even though you're telling the truth. But it's like, the minute I know it, insta know it, and it's not good or bad here. Just from my perspective, then I'm like kind of drained out, instead of boosting up, having conversation. Let's create something, how to play the game. We talk about other players, and they're just like, and I'm not saying anything bad about anybody here, to first of all, like, because I know also the guys who play with me are listening to this. It's just like, it doesn't mean anything that anybody is a good or bad person. If you gossip or not, you're not bad because you gossip, or you're good because you don't gossip. It's just the difference is, when you don't gossip, you have more, we could say, workability in life, because you focus on creating instead of we could call it destroying, or you know making false assumptions that you are better than somebody else. So that's that's from my side on
You know,
gossiping. Yeah.
I was thinking about the other side,
Mm-hmm.
because when I mean, probably even now, but when I was like, I don't know, 12, 14, I was really popular with the guys, and girls would gossip about me a lot. And later I was really successful in sport, and people would gossip a lot about me. And then later I became successful in business, and again people would gossip about me. And it was really hard for me to not getting hurt by it. I was really hardcore hurt when I was like, I don't know, 15, 16. But then I realized, first thing first, in Slovenian, we would say something like, the best horse always has dust behind him, or something like that, you know. So, za najboljšim konjem se vedno kadi ima.
Yeah, there is dust behind the best horse. Yeah.
Yeah. So I accept that, and I realize it's not mine; it's theirs. You know, it comes from their soul, from their thinking, from how they feel actually. And later on, I also met people that are really successful and happy about themselves. And I realized they're not gossiping because they feel good about themselves. As Yana said before, they don't need to put others down to feel better, you know. And they also understand that gossiping is waste of time and energy. So if here is anyone who has that experience now, or had it, that people would gossip about him or her a lot, it's completely fine. It's okay. It has nothing to do with you. It has a lot or everything to do with them. And you know, somebody said to me, it's okay, you know, people are talking behind your back, and they're behind your back for a reason. So just focus on what you're doing, do the best you can, and keep on going, you know, and make more dust. It's okay.
Yeah, true on that. And when you said that, what also reminded me was like, right, when we gossip about somebody or say something untruth, right? Let's just, for example, for me, it was in my hometown. I didn't know for the time being, but later on, I got to know that people saw me as somebody who is a hypocrite. And that was the word around me, around my hometown, among certain people. It just came that my girlfriend at the time said, I should listen to others. They said you're a hypocrite. I don't know even why and stuff like that. Maybe I was in a certain moment, right? And that doesn't make you a hypocrite for life, but it's kind of how it works. And then what actually happens is when a lot of people agree that somebody is in a certain way, right? It's just impossible. Also, we rarely experience that or talk about it, but it's also impossible for that person in some moments not to be that. So if you say Ula is really, something, and we all suddenly start to agree, even Ula, what you just shared before, it would be really hard for you if, let's say, we enroll whole Ljubljana into it that you are a whore, right? You go around and, you do it with every guy. It would be like impossible that anybody would take you as anything else as that. And that is even I would say, all right, we can take how it looks for us, how it lands with us when we gossip, but we rarely think about how it lands for that third person that we gossip about and what we actually are doing in that moment, because it goes around. All right, that guy is, he's a hypocrite, it goes around, and then suddenly you cannot talk to people anymore because they see you as a hypocrite, so they're all reserved. You don't even know why, or they go out of communication with you. You don't even know why. You're like, maybe that was also the reason for me. What happened was at one moment, I said, all right, I will stop calling people, and except for the 5 people that I was in regular contact with. And before that, I was in contact with 100 people, around like that, like per month. And in 30 days, it went to what? To those 5 contacts. It's that simple. And I didn't know why it's happened at that time. I don't know. Am I doing something wrong? And I maybe didn't even do. Maybe I said to somebody something truthful in the face. He didn't like it, and he said, you're a hypocrite. You said I'm a good guy. Now you tell me this, blah, 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 I always said a good friend is the one who tells you in the eyes you're an idiot, and behind your back he tells you you're the best person in the world. But it's just, coming from the space of love. And I don't know, So, but I see that can be, the impact. And then that person has no chance in that time, especially in Slovenia, which is a small country. There, Ljubljana, the biggest city, is 350,000 people or a little more. Not much, just like in Novo Mesto, there is 20,000 people. If somebody marked you and most people agree on you, It's like you have no chance in there. It's just like it's a hellhole. You gotta move the place, go away. It's hard to, there is no catching a break in that. So, and in the end, what really counts there is what Shula said, right? When you get your self-worth, when you are who you are, with time opinion will change, or the gossip will go away, because at some point people always see that that it's not truth. Most of the people, those who are defined by what you did in the past, it's who you are now. It's like it's impossible with them. It's like even waste of time to have a conversation. Yeah. So that is another thing. It's like mutual agreement, we call it as well. So it's like when so many people agree on something, doesn't need to be written down. It becomes the truth, and that's how it is. And that's why some people also never escape like from doing certain things in life. It's not only because they want to do it, but they keep on not doing it because the environment is in the place that they listen to them as bad people. It's like it's just impossible for them to even, because you come into a conversation, you're a bad person, you will do something bad right now. All right, let's see, let's provoke it. If it doesn't happen on its own, you will provoke it. Just how twisted we can be as a human beings.
Yeah, I think it's really obvious how it's caused a lot of unworkabilities for actually any part of like the people who are involved in a gossip, right? So if you're a person who it's gossiped about, you're kind of created like this, I don't know, whatever. It's like he's a whore, I mean she's a whore, whatever, something. And even like if I look for myself, if I would be accepting gossip from someone about, I don't know, a girl or whoever, it kind of creates some kind like of as you said, like a listening, a blockage in a way, actually, that I would, how can I say that in any moment after that, there would be something present in my view to this person, and I think I couldn't really create a relationship that I would if there was like a clean page. Do you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like there is already something there that is like, as you said, like marked on this person, and it really stops me. It not just that person, but it also stops me from having open and like truthful, open, loving relationship, whatever. It kind of stops the possibilities, kind of stops the good thing from happening. So I mean I saw that for myself in what you're saying, and I think it's really impactful. So yeah.
You know what I just realized?
To say.
Did you think about gossiping in your head?
Yeah. What? Oh, wow. That's another realm of it all.
And creating with yourself that opinion about other person, and you just make him that way. He's a womanizer, let's put it, okay? And if I see him as a womanizer, and I okay, let's be more specific. If I take my ex-boyfriend, I understand that I put glasses on me that showed him as a womanizer. And whenever we would, I don't know, go to the supermarket and he would be nice to that one lady, I would see that as that he's flirting with her, even though maybe the truth is he's just being nice, So it would make a problem for me, for us, for our relationship. So obviously the relationship cannot work. So that's another
yeah, it's a next level, right? We always think about externally instead of internally, or we could call it, like you said, gossiping, or how you already listen somebody, right? It's just like that. If you what you just shared, this is it. and we all can look our relationships, and every relationship that is not working for us, probably or most certainly in it is you, which is always a constant in all your relationship, and you have a certain view on the other person, and you're coming into conversation with that certain view, and what you're doing in that conversation is you're trying to prove that you're right, that your view is the right one about that person, mostly. I also do that in workshops with teenagers, right? When you come home and if you think your mom is pain in the ass, what are you gonna do in every conversation? What will you do? You will try to prove that she's pain in the ass. If she wouldn't appear like that, you know which button to press that she appears like that. So in the end, you could say, "I knew it, my mommy, right?" And then you go away and then right and talk to your friends. But you know, my parents, they're like this, and that. So yeah, and what just pops into my mind is also right why well I never understood, but I know it's out there when people are saying right when they're in a relationship and they're like, "Oh, I need friends, there are certain things I cannot talk with my partner." And I'm like, why is that, right? And then they come together, like ladies more frequently than guys, I think, but nowadays, as I heard, guys are not that different. It's just like you come together with your friends and start talking about your partner, like she's this and that way, blah blah, right? Right? Well, you just gossip about somebody that you're gonna spend the night with, like not one night, but it's gonna keep on going. And then you're wondering why you're not in a loving, fulfilling relationship, and that just goes on, and it just makes you grumpy, just cynical, skeptical, grumpy, pain in the ass person that you wouldn't want to spend time with. And then you expect others to spend time with you because why? I'm like that. That's one of the things that I'm really getting present. And then it kind of it's when I think back, it's kind of illogical that people don't want to deal with you. If I was like that in the past, you're just like, hell, I would spend time with me. Good thing for you. I will shake your hand. You make a good choice. GG. Good game. Thanks for dwelling me into that. And basically, it gave me opportunity that I saw it at one point. I remember I was just like, all right, I'm never gonna talk about others without me having experience of them. And then I will only always share my experience with the people. Just like I will never say Ula is an idiot because Emma said she's an idiot, and then I'm like, oh, Emma said she's an idiot, then she must be an idiot. Emma, it's a good judgment of character, right? Like yeah. we commonly do, right? But I was like, if somebody was talking shit about other person, I said back, look, I don't have the experience with that person, so or my experience with that person is this, and that. So here I cannot, agree with you, but I get that you had that kind of experience with them, and that is it. And then lately, it's just like, I can admit there is gossiping going on with me and Usha about other parents at the moment, friends' parents, right? Just like they're having kids, we're having kids, and we're wondering how they're doing. They might be wondering how we're doing, but we don't call each other and check like how you're doing, right? It's just like, right? It creeps in. It's so natural. It's so like,
so human, yeah.
Yeah, it's so human. Yeah, it's so like imprinted on us. Like really, we were like kind of raised in this kind of society where this is normal. It's normal to talk about other people. It's normal to put other people down. It's normal to be, to say this and that kind of persons are bad, or be careful with them, or just like tons of prejudices. I think that's the word. It's going on, and inside of tons of gossiping, just like, and in the end, even now being in this topic, it's kind of like it's tiring and exhausting. It's just like, man, but it's also why for me at the moment is because it's a reality check. Just all right, we do gossip. Okay, cool. Okay, but here it starts, right? Admitting. So we admit, okay, I gossip. Okay, cool. Can I stop it? Yes. Can I stop thoughts in my head? No. But can I not play with them? Yes. Right? There will be a thought in your head. You will go down the street, you will see a certain kind of human being, and you will say, oh, he must be rich, which is like just a thought. But then if you start playing, oh, he definitely must be. He has this and that kind of word, it's kind of, then it becomes weird. Like, why am I doing that, right? But thoughts, it's just like they will pop out. And then what comes out of our mouth, well, we definitely have control over that, right? You can have as many thoughts as you want, opinions as you want, but we don't need to share them all. I think it's just like for most of them, it's unnecessary.
Yeah, and gossiping comes from opinions mostly, not really experiences, right?
How it would be if I suddenly stopped gossiping,
Yeah.
For 100. So when I'm really present to that, it's, as you said, a little bit scary, because I suddenly then, who am I being as a person then? Is like someone powerful, someone who's like, no, stop that. No, that is not in any way workable, not profitable, like not efficient. Like, you're just talking shit, and it's not doing any good to anyone. And yeah, it's, in a way, it's really, it gets me proud if I put myself into it. Like, all right, I can do that. And it's gonna take something, some courage, some, that putting aside that they might be like, oh my God, Emma, why are you like that? That some judgments might come my way, stuff like that. So, but I take on this, I mean, as you said, we're also on a program that where I agreed to not to gossip. So it still is something that I need to all the time restart, because it drags me in so fast. So yeah, that's for me. I think I would really be a powerful person and someone who's really a stand for this, like, workability, communication, love, connection between people. So yeah, that my house is itchy.
Yeah, and when you were talking now, Emma, I was thinking, do I gossip, when I gossip, and so on? Obviously I do, but I can catch myself now, and I'm like, sometimes I even apologize to another person, like, I'm sorry, that wasn't right, because of that and that. But what I want to maybe share here is that Yana said before that it's a lot of gossiping in teams, like in business and so on. And I have an agreement with my team not to gossip, which means that we are not talking about the third person in the team if they are not with us. And I explained them why, and I gave them my example, what happened to me, like not one time but more often, and that even if they think that they're doing something good, trying to help someone else, they are really not. It's better to call the third person and talk to them. So that I see that this agreement is really important and powerful, because I believe that when there is, that weird feeling when you talked about someone else and you did it and you feel weird, and then the communication with that third person gets really, I don't know, not clear. The air is not clear. And you cannot have a strong connection in the team then. So that's something I believe that every leader, or like a team or business of, I don't know, whatever you do, doesn't matter. Even if you're not a leader, even if you're not a boss or whatever, you can take the lead, the responsibility in your team for that clear communication and clear space. I believe that would make a big difference in the world.
Yeah, definitely, right? It would. Because what also happens when we gossip is just like in that moment, we are not creative, we are not creating future that we want to be fulfilled, that we are up to. You're just like you said before, wasting time, energy, and somebody else's time and energy, and making that other person, maybe even be a part of why they don't grow. It's because you gossip, and you can say, yeah, but that's not my thing, right? However they do their life is their responsibility, it's not my thing. But in the end, if you see it as a humanity, we are all one. That's like if you would see your body, that means like, if your finger doesn't work, it's like, that's not going to affect the other hand. But when you will be grabbing something with both hands, it will affect the other hand because, all the rest 9 fingers will have to grab stronger because this one's not working. And that goes for humanity. We know that society does there is little workability, there's little love, little connection present at the moment. It's like it's more likely people will put you down that lift you up, and it's because of that certain percentage of the humanity is rotten at the moment. It is like that. It doesn't work. And I'm really also interested, chat, if you want to say like how it would be for you if you would stop gossiping for yourself, or even if you don't gossip, right? How it would be for you if you stop gossiping every time you were, it was present in your, that you were in presence of it, right? That, I don't know, maybe your mom and dad talk about somebody else, and you would say, hey guys, can you stop gossiping while I'm here and continue it when I'm gone? If you need to do that. I don't know. I think that would be like next level human being, so to speak, like, right? Somebody who really stands, like you said before. And I think if us three take this on, and even if somebody who is with us right now, if we all take it on, right? Just like, imagine. And I really respect, because I can say, I can share here, I really respect people who does that. And I know sometimes Sula come to us because she is our coach and a therapist, so to speak, give us these massages for the body, which she does. And when I was saying something, she said, isn't that gossiping? I was like, all right, yeah, it is. Well done. I was like, okay, cool. That's kind of a human being I want to be around, instead of somebody who would go, yeah, right, and then we gotta have a partner now in crime, right? So yeah, but it is that easy, right? And I know I also stopped her a couple of times, and and that's it. It's nothing is bad here. It's not like I'm bad because I started, or Ula is bad, or if I started with Emma and then Emma goes along with me and we are now partners. It's just not gonna cause what we are up to. Just gonna, like, right? So this channel is about spreading love and freedom among people. That's what we're about. And then whenever I do that, the intention is worth it. It's just that simple. It is. It was waste of time, right? Well, better to bang my head in the wall at that moment. I don't know. Do nothing.
Yeah. Because I really want to be a better person every day.
Mm.
And I really want to talk to people that contributes to me in some way, like I always think about, okay, is this conversation making me a better person, or it's dragging me down, or it's just blah blah. um and yeah, and I that's why I'm really happy that I have you two and people like you around me. So I would say my life changed like completely in the last 2 years, thanks to you guys, to be the stance and support for me. So thank you.
And thank you for being, open to that. That is also like, if you want different things in life, it starts with you. Just like, if you want to improve your body, but if you're not open for coaching, it's like, good luck, mate. I mean, and it will go with luck, because nothing that you do is gonna go with that. So you will need luck. You will have, some kind of 1 in a million chance that you get it. Where when in fact, when you're open to it, it's more likely that it will happen sooner, faster, and more efficiently, and it will have consistency. So, and it and even though it might seem, it in my head it's like, but this is not connected with gossiping, and then I'm like, yeah, it is. Shut the fuck up, JP. Yeah, it is. Right? It is, because Mr. JP said, honestly, I'm not sure how I'd feel. I'm afraid of other person's reactions if I stop him or her. Yeah. Yeah. It's a fear that we had a podcast last time, right? It's a fear of interruption. In this point of view, you will interrupt gossiping, and your identity or ego, however you want to call it, will die in the moment. When you do that, it will be something you usually don't do, which you're not used to. Another person might react in whichever way. You never know, because you never did it, and you will only know when you will do it. And it paralyzes you and makes you this big again, right? And it's just that in the end, and nothing is wrong. Like, it doesn't mean that this is a bad person. But if you're up to having love and connection with people, right? And then you don't do that. It's just like, this is what I also shared in love. Is like, some people call that tough love. But no, love is love, and that is also what is necessary if you want to spread love, share love, and be loving, is that you stop whenever that is not happening. Because when somebody gossip about other person, in that moment, that person is not being loving, it's not being respectful, it's being all the things that we usually perceive ourselves we are not. Oh, I'm not that kind of a person. I'm like, I'm a really cool guy. I respect everybody, accept everybody. Well, you can't all the time. It's bullshit. We are not all the time loving. Even if I say to Ursha, I love you, I'm not all the time loving person to her. Whenever I'm annoyed by her, I'm being annoyed. In that moment, there is no love present. It would be a bullshit. It would be lying to myself, saying that I'm loving her at that moment. At that moment, I'm being annoyed by her. And then, because my commitment is that I love her, then I go and I said, sorry, baby, I did this and that. I get the impact. Won't happen again. I will do this and that. And then next time happens again, because other thing pops up, right? So just like it's utopia that we think we are going to be respectful all the time. Yeah. I mean, you can be up for it, and you might level it up, but all the time, if you're being annoyed by somebody, you're not being respectful. however you perceive yourself in that moment, but it's pure lying to me. It's like throwing sand. Yeah, I am. No, you're not.
Yeah. And also, one thing that if I go back to that tough love, that sometimes you got to cause some waves. Like, it may not be comfortable to stop someone in doing such stuff, in like gossiping or whatever, but sometimes you got to cause waves to wake that person up. If you're like all the time nice to them, and they're just gonna keep doing the shit and keep like impacting other people in a way that's not doing any good to anyone. So try it on. Try to do some waves, and you might even experience yourself as a different person. So yeah, get them some tough love.
yeah, right. Then I take it on. I will be there.
No gossip movement.
Well, I'm looking down, because I'm thinking, how is it gonna look like, man? Who and then you think it's gonna take something, but in the end, it's not gonna take anything else but my word. I said, in this moment, I'm taking this on. I will not participate in gossiping, and I will stop it. And already, it might happen in 10 minutes. The opportunity will be where I can gossip, or I can, participate in it by not saying anything. And we'll have to stop it. Right?
Cool.
Right? It's all the time. Opportunities all the time out there because it's so common and so natural. So, maybe that's the challenge for everybody who is here with us, right? Let's stop it and let's interrupt it. Imagine we fellow human guys who love to watch sports and gossip all of the time about the sportsmen, like we know shit about professional athleticism, we know opinions. I'm not saying some people are experts and that is cool and that is correct and, that is it. But most of us are not. Most of us are, coaches on the bench thinking about how they should be in a certain way and doing injustice to the players and ourselves. It's just like, because we know when somebody trash talk about somebody, even if you don't say anything or agree or disagree, you think, man, you're an idiot. You're just, it's like, it's there. It's like, who does that? And then you do it and you're like, who am I doing it? What? Can we please stop it? So yeah, I can share here. That is why I stopped watching sports. I used to watch a lot of sports, and then because there was all the time these judgments, and it was about other people's life. Then I was thinking about, well, I'm watching here somebody else playing football 90 minutes. I'm not getting anything. I'm doing it, usually being nervous, sharing tons of opinions, and it's just like, then I stopped it, and then guess who? Marco is back. Marco is here. Hello. So yeah, right. So let's take it on. What do you say, guys? Do you take it on?
Cool.
Chat, stop gossiping and interrupt gossiping if it's going on around you. Let's try it on for a week. And next week we take 5 minutes before the dating topic, and we share about it, how it went, right? How the week was for us, like what it took from us. Us three will share, and you guys can do it as well. All right, this is it for Topical Gossiping. Bye-bye.